streaming, we should, in theory, be streaming now.
Wait, we're live right now?
We should be.
We're live right now.
Are we live right now? Let us know in the chat if we're live, because at the moment we should, in theory, be live. And also, by the way, let me know audio levels, because there could be any number of things going on.
Oh, golly.
Hey, yeah, I can see us.
Can you hear us?
I reloaded it.
Am I obnoxiously loud? Devin, don't answer that.
I'm just gonna continue to. I can't actually hear. Oh, I'm muted the whole thing.
No sound
and Alex is backwards. Yeah.
Is there really no sound?
Alex,
we can hear you.
Yeah.
A tad loud. Okay, I am a tad loud. That's what I wondered about. Let me move this down a bit. Let me know if this is better. Better. You guys say something?
Testing. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Board Game Co. My name's Alex Radcliffe, and I've taken over his life.
Perfect. Excellent. Okay, so it looks like we got things good. Yep, better. Alex is reversed. I can fix that. Transform. Flip horizontal, right? There we go. Okay,
for the rest of this live
Don't tell the
stream,
computers to transform. That's how we got in this mess in the first place.
For the rest of the live stream, I'm just going to be talking about poor allusions to movies that make no sense.
So, for the record, everyone, in case you guys are wondering what's going on and why we're 20 minutes late, it's because I hit ready and go live, and then Streamlabs, which is the software we use to go streaming, was like, by the way, actually, we're down now. So I hope you enjoy live streaming, Alex. I know how much you love troubleshooting things on the fly. And I was like, Devin, Chris, are you guys available at 4 o'clock today? And they're like, just fix it, Alex. Just fix it. And so here we are in OBS.
That is what we said. Honestly,
really chirping him too.
He kind of truncated his complaining process. He really bemoaned his fate for a long time before we just said fix it.
Yeah, and also, too, he really underplayed how obnoxious we were to him and not supportive whatsoever, and just really made his job harder.
Chris, who is spends a lot of time managing live stream stuff, was like, Alex, I know how frustrating and difficult this stuff is, and you're doing a great job. And then proceeded to going back to cracking jokes with Devin. But there was a brief moment where I was like, Chris is a good man.
That's what I try to give. One brief moment, and then terror.
Yes, in fact, Brian, I did indeed. Oh, Brian, make sure to watch the weekly live this week, just as a heads up. Anyways, not the weekly live, this is the weekly live. Make sure to watch the week in review, Brian. Watch the week in review, Brian. Sorry, I just recognized your username, and I figured that would be happening there. Anyways, so, let's go ahead and have a conversation. We are live. There is no Meg in the chat. It was actually going to be all the four of us. Chris is not replacing Meg.
Where did Meg go?
So,
Chris and I were prepared to be upset that you didn't include her in the thumbnail.
Yes,
and now I'm just upset that she's not here.
That's fair. We're all upset she's not here. She was basically saying how she had a headache, and she was like, but I need to go live. And I was like, well, I'd love to have you, but we do have a proxy. So all that game show work we did, we have a proxy, we're good to go. And she's like, well, I don't even like Chris, and so she's like basically not here right now.
Ooh.
Yeah. She didn't say the last part.
Is it just because she felt like he should have been more competitive at Splendor and he wasn't very good?
That's funny.
I'm gonna leave this. I'm leaving right now.
Well, don't do that.
Meg not being here was the first but that put me over the edge.
No. Stick around. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Also, if you left, I wouldn't be able to do a game show, so I do need you. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and dive into this. This is the weekly live, about 20 minutes too late, but it's all good. We're going to dive into, as usual, we're going to have a few things today. We're going to have our game of the week, where every single one of us is going to take a few minutes to talk about our game of the week. We're also going to go ahead and have a game show, where we're following the Jeopardy style format that Devin put together. I put together this week. I have Jeopardy ready to go. And then also... What's that noise? Oh, a mixer. And then also we're going to have our Patreon selected topic of the week as well at the end of the show. So feel free to stick around. But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and start this off with Devin so that Chris can see exactly how a true professional isn't. Yeah. Devin, please go ahead and start us off.
All right. The thing that I like about publishers who do their own content would be, let's see, my first person
wait,
that
whoa.
No, that's the end of the episode.
Are you intentionally being obnoxious?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay.
You said I don't know how to do it, so I was messing it up on purpose.
Oh, please, you don't have to try that hard. Give us time.
All right, my game of the week is It's a Wonderful World. It's a Wonderful World. And I picked that not because I've played it this week, but because I would like to introduce Amber to that. The game that I have been playing with Amber most recently was Role Player Adventures, and because we kind of deconstructed this office, moved all my games in there, moved the games back and stuff like that, we had to take it down. We had it like live up on my dining table for a month or more, and we had played, the first 7 or 8 of the scenarios for Role Player Adventures. But because that's put up, I like miss the kind of like, every other night getting to play games with Amber. And I think she would really like It's a Wonderful World. She likes Everdell, she likes Tapestry, she likes quite a few other titles that I think are games
Alex,
that you
I
can
don't
kind
think
of
we can
play.
I know. I'm fixing it on the fly. It's
No,
no,
this is great. This is great. This goes really well with Devin not knowing what he's talking about.
Well,
that looks even better.
Devin
now
didn't put it up.
just to cover up Kristen now. That looks entirely. So I think that she would like It's a Wonderful World. I think it's kind of in her wheelhouse. Amber likes games that she can like interact with the people around the table and talk with them while playing, to where it's either interaction because of the game or the game is light enough to where she can talk over the game. And so I think It's a Wonderful World would be a good one. I think she would enjoy kind of the engine building, which she's typically better at than I am. So I've got the expansions, which Alex had a really hard time making it through the rules of those whenever he first read them. So, I'd like to play that with Amber and open up the expansion boxes.
Yeah, that joke, by the way, is literally Devin and I one day were having a conversation. I know I'm trying to size this on the fly. It's not working. It's all good. Anyways,
you're
Devin and I
doing
were having
fantastic.
a conversation around who's going to tackle which rule books for games we were going to play that day. And I was like, I'll take the It's a Wonderful World Corruption and Ascension expansion. He's like, great, awesome, no problem. And then I looked up and said, okay, I'm done. What next? Because it was literally like a paragraph.
Nice. I've only played It's a Wonderful World for 10% of a game. My friends invited me to do a game on Board Game Arena, and then I'd never played it before. I tried to learn it on the fly. That didn't work out so well, and then my time ran out, and they kicked me out. So they're no longer friends of mine.
Ooh, fun. Also, I'm realizing we're going to have a problem later in the stream. No, I'm going to fix it now. I'm going to fix it.
Are you talking about with the game show?
Or just with me being on the stream, I get it.
Fun fact.
So
I have my key set up that on OBS, which we don't usually use OBS for streaming. We usually use it for something else. But I do use my OBS to record my to-back or not-to-backs. And if I tap the number 1 or 2, it switches screens. That's going to be very difficult. It switches scenes. That's going to be very difficult when I try to enter scores in Jeopardy. But I'm going to fix that before we get there.
Well, the Jeopardy thing that I had, it does the score at the bottom.
It has point counters, or do you have to type it in?
You just click points.
Then we're good. We're good. As long as I don't hit the number 1 and 2 on my keyboard, we are fine. Anyways, yes, Room and Board is a hack. I agree with that person in the chat. But past that, so yeah, It's a Wonderful World. I actually
good
had a
reference
chance
to earlier when you were hacking.
I had a chance to play this one recently on BGA actually, and it's one that I've gotten and then gotten back, and then I got it, got rid of, and got back and got rid of it again. I got it back to play with the expansions, and for me overall, I enjoyed the expansion. I thought it added a no-brainer extra stuff that I would always play with, but it wasn't enough for me to hold on to it. And then playing it on BGA recently kind of reaffirmed that it's a game I'm certainly happy to play, and I enjoy it to an extent, but I don't have like strong feelings of positive affection towards it. I just mildly like it.
Now, Devin, do you like Seven Wonders a lot?
I am not a huge fan of Seven Wonders. I like Seven Wonders Duel quite a bit, but I'm not a huge fan of Seven Wonders. So,
I played Seven Wonders.
From the 20% of It's a Wonderful World that I've played, I was getting Seven Wonders vibes, but I might be completely incorrect.
No. It's strong Seven Wonders vibes. I just prefer Seven Wonders, although I don't know who falls into what category. I know strong Seven Wonders camp, but I think there's different... I don't know. When I play Seven Wonders, everything feels like it makes sense to me. When I play It's a Wonderful World, I feel like the first game is like, okay, I need 2 purple, 1 green, 1 black, and I know there's no purple. Actually, is there purple? I don't even know there's purple. Whatever the colors are, I'm like trying to figure out,
green,
I need this
yellow,
and that, and if I play this in that order... Like, when I play It's Seven Wonders, it feels
red,
like
black,
if I play...
red.
Like, even though it's abstracted, I feel like I'm playing war cards. And even though it's abstracted, I feel like I'm playing, statues and temples and science, and all feels like categories. In It's a Wonderful World, I'm like, I just need colors, and I'm trying to make it all work. And the first round is literally just like, hey, draft 8 cards, of which maybe you can build 2, and, the rest of them you just can discard for extra things. And the end game of It's a Wonderful World is very rewarding. I like the end game a lot. But the actual playing of the game is like, to me, it just feels more like homework.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, you weren't bad in school. That makes sense. That tracks.
Exactly. From there, Mr. Chris George, do you want to go ahead and handle your game of the week?
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about my game of the week because this is the first time I've played this specific copy, and I don't know if it's fulfilled yet, or it might be starting to fulfill. But I stole a copy. Yeah, I stole a copy when I was at WSBG, and it's raw. I'm holding it up here. This is the 25th Century Games new copy, and it's honestly, it's so gorgeous, and it's a really good production quality, and I feel like it's a really good price point too, and that says something because I'm very cheap and I find nothing to be a good price point. But for Raw, it feels like a good price point, and the actual gameplay mechanics of Raw are super duper fun. I played it, I think, previously, and then it's in. I do some work for the World Series of Board Gaming, and so it's in one of their 16 games. And so, but bringing it back, I just introduced it to a couple of friends who don't play a lot of games. They're not like my board gaming friends, but I was like, this would be a good one for you, and it's all just pure auction, and it was a friggin' blast. It's so tense. The auction mechanics of when to trigger an auction and to try to get other people to bid on auctions, or if you can push that tempo of the auctions. And
because
then the
in this game, so like I haven't played it, but Daniel from Play the Game HQ was chatting to me about it. And isn't it like what the one that you bid, that's also the value that you get to bid for later. So it's not always about like what you want, it's also about the bidding power of what you're trying to get for the next time. Is that right?
Yeah.
That was a poor way of saying it, but yes. It was what you bid goes into the pool that the next person bids on.
Yeah.
So you're giving up your bid.
Yeah,
so
that
wasn't as articulate as mine, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Sorry, I got too excited about the production quality and my experience of it that I didn't do my due diligence in terms of explaining it for people who've never played Raw. It's by Reiner Knizia, a just pure auction game, and it's set collection. You can see it on the screen right there. That is a board of someone collecting different sets. You collect monuments on the side, you collect pharaohs, everything on the left side of your board.
You flip it, Alex, so that it's easier to see.
No.
Yeah, everything on the left side of your board.
I actually thought about it, but then I was like, I'll flip it back.
Rounds, and then everything on the right side of your board is scored just like once per round. And so there's a fun decision of what do you want to bid on, what do you collect. You can also see in that top row there that we just scrolled by, there were some like little red tiles. Those are disaster tiles, and they make bad things happen to you. So you have to decide whether or not it's worth bidding on the things in the middle, or maybe you bid your lowest sundial. You can see the one sundial there in the middle. That is whatever you bid, you will then have the one sundial to bid in your next round of the game.
Yeah.
Which is
how many bidding games have you played like that would be in the same genre as this?
Like pure bidding games? I think in terms of like pure auction, there's nothing that really does it better than Raw. Some games I like the auction mechanic of, specifically auctioning. I haven't played Cyclades. I love the auction in Power Grid.
You
honestly.
should visit Cleveland, and we should play Cyclades.
We should.
That sounds like a good decision.
And Rurik and DEI.
I would love all of that. I would love that very much. But Raw, I was just like, because I played it before and I hadn't played it in a while, and then I was judging it because I was running some like mini qualifiers for World Series of Board Gaming, and I was like, okay, now I have this copy. I want to get it to the table again. And it's just, it makes you want more. It really does. And I just think, like, in terms of a pure value standpoint, too, from this retail edition that's coming out, like, way to go, 25th Century Games. I just was so impressed with the quality for the price. And I'm very excited.
I really like the bidding in modern art. But I also find that, like, I'm not as like it's not so I mean, it's strategic, but it's also based off of just like the goofiness of the interaction. I haven't really played a bidding game like this that is like it takes away kind of like that social silliness side of things and like that banter and makes it like a very tactical like frame of mind. And I just was curious.
This is mean and brutal and lovely. I mean, like I played High Society, I played Modern Arts, Cyclades, Raw. I don't know what else I played in the auction. Like I played lots of games that have an auction.
I guess
mechanic. QE definitely has it, yeah. But Raw is to me if you're looking for the epitome of a pure auction game, Raw is that to me. It does it incredibly well, and it gives you a lot of room for strategy and a lot of decision points because of the set collection. and because you're also bidding on your next bid as well, which you have to be mindful of. And so as you do all of that, you're trying to think through how much to push your luck and what to gather and how to also. You also want to be very wary of your opponents. There's a denial game at play here as you play it. It's a delightful game that I think this is by far my favorite version of it. I know not everyone is a fan of the color scheme, and I get that. Like, I've seen people describe it as like color vomit or whatnot, and I understand where that's coming from, but I really like it. I think the colors work well together.
I like most of it. The puke sea green hockey pucks, not the best.
Oh no, they look
I love it.
So nice in person. Let me get them out.
Oh, I've seen them in person. I've seen them in person.
It's one of those interesting things where there's a matter of this must not have. There's like a general idea of like, you know, of preference. Obviously, people have preferences, but like this is a game that had a lot of controversy when the art was released for this version. And I was like, I love it. Look at it. Look at this. Look at that piece.
Dude, your camera, like, autofocus is really nice.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, just hold that there for the rest of the show, Chris. It's an improvement.
It is an improvement. I agree. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. I lost so badly in this game of Raw 2, and I still just had such an amazing time. It was so awesome to see my friend discover the strategy and like discover it at the same time. And I was like, oh no, you figured out what you're doing, and it's really working out well. And he's like, I know.
I have a question. I think some of your fans are in chat.
I understand the same question. No, don't ask it. Don't ask it. Don't ask it. I was going to ignore it.
Yeah, Night Cage is not an auction game.
Okay.
Night Cage is not, you know, not.
Did you erroneously call it that at some point?
No, I just don't like the Night Cage, and people like to say that I do.
I don't like it either.
I don't like it either. Yeah. I think the Night Cage is... I don't know why we're talking about Night Cage now, but let's do that. I think Night Cage probably is a game that, in my opinion,
do you actually need us to explain why we're talking about it?
No.
I feel like it happened pretty organically.
It thrives as far as if you're looking for a game that you could have that right atmosphere, and you do lean into the candles and the dark lights and all this stuff. Effectively, what you're doing, though, is you're supplementing a game that has okay but not great mechanics for theme and atmosphere, which you can do in other systems as well. It's like, I've always said, like, board game is fun because of the people at the table.
Like, Alex, when you and I played it together, I felt like both of us kind of came away from it being like, that was like a group game that could have been a solo game.
Yes, very much so. Like, if you're pushing it from a tactical stance, yes, so. But if you lean into if you lean heavily into the theme and turn the lights off and go that way, I think it's going to be a fun time. But I think that you can make any game a fun time if you have the right situations.
Yeah, so, adding atmosphere to something.
Yeah. If you don't like Raw,
save it,
but you decide to, you know, take a trip to Egypt and go sit in a pyramid and look at actual hieroglyphics and then shake the bag of Raw, you know, you might like it a little bit more.
Oh, more fun. You're right. People like travel. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
People like travel. Alex is like, could everything just be in my house? Specifically the trip when Chris is coming to see us later. So he's going to teach us Raw. But gotcha.
I'll bring it.
Anyways, very solid. Good game. My pick of the week is one that I'll be having a review coming out this week, but I
done so many lists. My number one is
my number 7. Okay, at least my number 1 means it's number 1, Devin. Anyways, my pick of the week is Seismic, and Seismic is one that I had a chance to play, and I'll have a review coming up this probably next week because that's when the crafting campaign launches.
Is it Seismic or Sismic?
I always say Sismic, and I have been corrected by the creator that it's Seismic, so I'm going to go with that.
Is this a follow-up to Citrus?
No.
It looks
I
very
saw
similar.
you cover that one.
Citrus?
Yeah.
Oh, is that the oh, interesting. I remember that one.
Citrus is the one that's got like the physical layers of the city or
and
whatever.
The towers that you're going up, yeah.
Not a follow-up at all, but I understand why you'd say that.
I think Chris liked it as much as Night Cage.
I liked it more than Night Cage.
This one is and this one also I can see the hodgepodge mess of colors. This is a prototype, understand all that, and it's prototype with painted and I don't know what the final game is going to look like. Hopefully slightly better than this, although I will say in person this thing is intense looking. This is a lot going on. Oh Brian, give me a second. Hold up, Brian. 1 sec.
This thing looks like the Dark Tower in Terraforming Mars had a baby.
This is the box.
Clever made.
Yeah. Okay, that's Seismic. Anyways, this is a lot of game and a lot of box and a huge table presence, and that's not the issue at all. That's all good stuff. This is just a game that has chock full of It's chock full of so much fun. Basically, in the game, you're trying to... All those towers you see on the board over there are... Each faction has a tower. It plays up to 6 players, although I don't know if it would work as well at 6. I think it would drag a bit, but I haven't played at 6, so I can't say for sure. But effectively, you're trying to create your spaceship and then blast off this dying planet before everyone else. And I say before everyone else because of the fact that once you blast off, the fumes and explosion from your rocket basically destroy the planet in its dying bursts. So it's a race to the finish as you try to get your faction off the planet. To that end, what you're doing is you're trying to piece by piece construct your faction, and the rest of the game is just how it actually plays. But in the game...
Sorry, I just can't get it. One of my like favorite. Do you guys ever have like random obscure movie things that
Yes.
like just become your like jokes to yourself and a few friends?
Sure.
So this photo that Alex has was uploaded by someone called Anakin with 4 N's. It's just making me think of the scene from Phantom Menace where he's like, "It's working! It's working!" Oh, that's an awesome
Those are cool.
mini.
Yeah. This is like a little jump. Like, it's like this blasting
Leave
on
that
planet.
there. That's an improvement.
But basically, in the game, you're doing a ton of things to build out your rockets, but the whole thing is pure chaos. Many of the actions you take in the game, from mining to certain types of movement to combats, will result in basically tremors on this dying planet, so that you're going to be slowly flipping over these tiles that display what row and what area just goes completely bust. So literally the planet is dying all around you. And if you're like, but wait, does that mean that like I can have all my troops randomly die and your troops don't? Yes, that is absolutely what happens. Your troops and your things will randomly die on the board just with sheer luck of the draw. But the good news is every single thing in the game is just crazy and works. You always feel like you have stuff you can do on your turn. There's always cards you can play, actions you can take, and everything is so overpowered and cool that it's one of those games that just feels broken, even as the next player plays a card that gives them an ability that they can now do something that makes their situation and faction broken instead. So the game is just pure. It's about the chaos that's ensuing in the game and how you manage and react and address that chaos. It's not a perfect game, not by a long shot. There's a lot of information overload at the beginning of the game because you basically have 10 cards, and every round across 5 rounds of play, in every round there's 5 turns, and in each turn you're discarding 1 card and playing a card. And people don't know what you're discarding, so you're slowly eliminating your options of what troops you can activate. Can you trigger a combat? Can you start mining the ground? All those things are going on. And then additionally to that, each time you play a card, there's icons at the bottom of the card that indicate which types of bonus actions you can take. Because you can play the card and trigger a bonus action. Which
Do
you can
people
kind
have
of
the
see.
same types of cards?
People have the exact same deck of cards, yes. So it's not asymmetric in that
But
sense.
are you discarding face down?
You're discarding face down.
So it's like the opposite of Ankh. Like in Ankh, like you're discarding what you have face up so people can start to know a bit more and more what your hand is.
Yes.
And this is
Yes.
So it's like that, and like
Well, as
Cyberpunk
the game
2077, where it's like
you will have some knowledge that, because you'll see some cards face up as well. But meaning every time I play a card, 1 card goes face down, 1 card goes face up. So you have some knowledge of what my hand is getting reduced to, but not all the knowledge. But one of the things I love, though, is there's like 5 different bonus powers in each column across those 5 turns, and each one is different. That means there's 25 different bonus powers at play, and when you choose to play a card, can indicate which special action you get to trigger as a bonus. Combine that with decks of relics that's going to give your factions asymmetric abilities, with the decks of espionage cards, which gives you game-breaking effects, though, but then there's an incentive to play them once others play them, because if I play this game-breaking effect that's going to help me, if you play it, it takes my espionage off the table. So you have this constant cycling of who has the current game-breaking effect that's going to mess with people, and there's just tons of abilities going on as far as how the game plays out, and it was a very rewarding experience. I don't know if it's the kind of system that holds up again and again and again and always gives you good plays. Like, it's the kind of system that was both so much fun that I can't wait to dive back into it, but also so crazy that I could see it being the kind of game that it results in some good plays and some bad plays. And if that's the case, that's going to be a deal breaker for me, because I don't have time for uncertain experiences. But as of right now, very much enjoy this one. Because you're consistently bad.
Oh, you had me for just a moment. I thought you were gonna be sweet.
Of course not. Anyways, that's Seismic. I really enjoyed it and am eager to dive back into this game. I think it's a very cool game. I don't know what the price point will be. I'm a little nervous because of the production, but yeah, that's the deal. And anyways, with that, by the way, I'm loving how the two of you are just going at it in chat. I'm loving it. This is the most popular stream I've ever done, if you count the chat counts. So, with that, we are going to go ahead and dive into our weekly game show.
Yeah,
I'm taking
heard nothing that Alex said. I cared about
You don't
the
need
chat.
to. You don't need to. It's not like you cover crowdfunding games at all.
Nah, I'll cover it when we get to it. 1 week left. I'm interested.
Speaking of
Before that-
crowdfunding, we are diving into our special category, of which I made sure to have a category called Meg. No, I didn't. But that would have been fun.
Are you talking about the game show?
Top of the
Dang
game
it.
show. We are playing through Jeopardy once again. I've crafted some questions. Oh, it's okay. There's no. We've had everyone at some point or another do horribly enough that there's nothing to be embarrassed about as you go through this. But we are playing through Jeopardy. Chris, I believe you watched last week, which means you do have some opportunity
did.
to understand how this plays. But basically, the rules are simple. You get to. We're doing buzzing, right? We're buzzing.
Yeah, just saying buzz.
Yeah. So, where's the category for knowledge about Alex? Brian, I didn't do an Alex category, but here's what I did try to do. I did want a category called Devin. I was going to have a category called Devin, and I was going to make the entire category, and Chris is a callback, because last time when Devin did this, he had a category called Devin that was like personal knowledge about Devin, and I was like, who cares about personal knowledge about Devin?
Meg got like almost all of them, and Alex didn't get it.
I wanted to have a category called Devin that
yeah,
was all
that makes
about
sense.
Devin board game stuff. But I was like that. I just
I
couldn't
thought
think of things.
so. I was when I did this next, I was gonna do the exact same thing to where you wouldn't pick the category, but it would be questions you could answer.
Nice. I love how we both have the same exact mindset. But with that, we're going to go ahead and dive into this. Chris, as the special guest, you're going to have the opportunity to start us off by picking any box. First person to buzz in gets the answer.
Well, see, I'm deciding if I'm going to go Derek Chu style of this Jeopardy game, or if I should go in standard Jeopardy strategy style. That's my real. So let's
Automatically, I'm worried because he knows inside Jeopardy stuff.
Well, Derek Chu, he jumps around, keeps everybody on their toes because usually there's a flow, but because it's maybe more exciting this way, let's go crowdfunding for 100. If I can't get this,
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Oh, wait. Should we not be looking?
I
at
was
the
about
screen?
to say, it's up to you how you want to handle it. I am going to read the question. If you both
Okay.
want to look at the screen and you could just buzz in
But
earlier,
there's a bit of a
by all
delay,
means.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, but that's up to you how you want to handle it. I'm going to read the question.
Chris,
and
you decide because I can minimize the.
No,
I can
let's
minimize
have the
YouTube.
screen. Let's have the screen, but let's only be able to buzz after Alex finishes reading it.
Oh, that seems like the worst of both worlds.
Yeah, that's so I'm gonna possibly finish reading before he finishes talking, and then I'm gonna have to wait to buzz.
Yeah, gives us a couple seconds.
But then it just comes down to who buzzes first, opposed to who knows first.
All right, fine. Let's look at the screen and let's buzz whenever we want to. Let's buzz like Lightyear, baby.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and start this off with the first crowdfunding for 100. Who is the designer of the most funded board game of all time?
Buzz,
Hit me.
Isaac Childress.
Isaac Childress is indeed correct. Devin is on the board.
Dang it.
See, I had that
I was
just...
thrown by the delay. I was like, when's it gonna pop up? Wait, he's done. He's done.
we are not
right.
playing with Property Jeopardy rules. I have phrased all questions as answers except for one. One of them I chose not to, and you'll see why when I get there. But you could phrase it as who is Isaac Childress or whatever it is. But that is basically that. That's the first question on the board.
All right.
Okay. And yeah, that was I specifically phrased the designer to like just a second of a pause. You're like, okay, one step removed. But even then, still $100 question. Devin, you've gotten the thing. You get to choose the next question.
Derek Chu. So food for 500.
All aboard the
Food
Chew train, baby.
500. Oh my gosh, food 500. This is my tough one. I don't even remember what it is. Let's go ahead and see this out.
Let's go.
What is the highest ranked game within the food and cooking category on Board Game Geek?
Buzz?
Hit me.
Kitchen Rush?
That is incorrect.
Buzz.
Go ahead.
What is Sushi Go?
Oh shit.
Incorrect.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not Sushi Go.
No.
Buzz.
Go
What
ahead.
is Sushi Go Party?
No. I'm not obligated.
Okay.
Sorry, for not
All
to
right,
go party, and I'm not obligating that. How do we play this at this point? Nobody gets it, right? We can do the audience. I should do an audience, but I have to redo things. Ooh, should I do an audience category? Does the audience want to guess?
Yeah.
Buzz.
Somebody says wingspan because you can eat birds. Honestly,
Do I get it? Do we get
We're
more
not,
guesses?
we're not gonna get. You're not gonna get more points. Not gonna get more points.
All right.
The answer is, what is a feast for Odin? It's got food and cooking.
All right. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I was gonna fight you, but I'm not gonna fight you. That's a good.
Fight
one.
me on
That's
what?
A very good one.
On the accuracy of the physical, like the literal answer that does not exist otherwise. Anyways,
Okay.
from
What
there.
is move a bunch of cubes around? Move a bunch of
All right.
No, debate it
so-
with no. You're debating whether Board Game Geek is right or wrong. The question is phrased a specific way.
Yep. Yeah. 100%.
Okay.
So I think I retain control.
You
of the board.
retain
Yeah,
control.
that was really good. That was a great question.
Wait,
All
George,
right.
why are you protesting this? Of course it has cooking. It has lots of food and cooking. It's either.
It's got
Anyways.
the whole feast round, and it's
It's
yes,
good. It's called a
that's allowed.
feast. It's called a feast for Odin. Odin is a hungry bad boy.
Alternatives for 300.
Alternatives for 300. Ready? And starting off, we have this popular top 10 game recently had a new version published as a card game.
Buzz,
Hit me.
what is Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition?
Incorrect.
I mean, like recently. No, I know.
I
other
used the word
card
recently.
games.
That's why I would dispute. Like,
Yeah.
again, this is room for debate, but I would dispute that Ares is recent. But
Yeah, I'm
the
trying
nice
to
part
think
is
of
there's
what's
literally
more
only 10
recent.
options.
I'm not cheating.
Yeah, no looking at chat if you're still answering.
As I said, I'm not cheating. I saw chat and I know the answer. And I need to cover chat now because
Oh, wait, so you saw the answer already?
yeah, I saw the answer, so
Okay.
I can't get it. I'm
The
gonna be
answer
honest.
is, what is War of the Ring?
Yeah, because you played it at Dice Tower West.
I did play a Dice Tower West.
Yeah,
What'd you think?
I was okay with it. It wasn't that. It wasn't. I think people
I heard.
like it.
I heard curiously enough from Side Game LLC. He said it's actually, and I think someone else verified this, that it's better actually as a 4-player game. And then they said if you you can do the print and play rules for Two Towers and Return of the King instead of like Fellowship of the Ring stuff that's available in the base box.
Interesting. Yeah. So I what's it called? I played it as a 4-player game, so it didn't improve my experience. And I thought it was the kind of game that would thrive if you played it a lot, and the kind of game that felt like you really had to know the cards. And I feel like I'm already invested in Watergate. I didn't feel the need. It's not the desire to play it more so that I could appreciate it more. Just didn't feel like something that it's filling a spot in the collection. Okay, Devin retains control. So far, we have 100 points given.
I'm the champ.
Chris and I are killing it.
We're doing really good.
Um,
Well, honestly, I would much rather this than you have like 20,000 points and me have minus 50.
All right, let's go. Let's throw a bone to the crowdfunding boy and do
No, I'm not even-
crowdfunding for 200.
It's even more
Crowdfunding for
embarrassing that I'm not
200.
going to get it.
In
I know crowdfunding
2021, what role-playing game became the third most funded Kickstarter project in the tabletop category?
Buzz, what is Avatar?
What is Avatar Legends, the role-playing game?
I shouldn't have given it. I shouldn't have gone to this category. Oh,
Yes.
dear.
We're on the board. I'm like
For the
2021.
record, fun fact, I had the category crowdfunding before I knew Chris was going to be joining for this particular episode. So Chris just got lucky in that sense. But
I did
yeah.
just get lucky, yeah.
Chris is now in the lead with a strong 100-point, doubling Devin's score.
I'm sorry, and that's it for this live stream. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We're gonna have to call it here.
And Kyle, I'm sorry, I can't add a counter mid-game. I have to reset it, unfortunately. At least I think.
Let's go Party Games 400.
Oh man.
Let me see if I could do 3 teams and continue. Ooh. Ooh, we're going to give Chat a counter.
Oh,
Chat
yeah,
is
let's
getting
do
a
it.
counter.
So
What did
Chat-
Brian get? Brian got the 300 War of the Ring, right?
War
Yep.
of the Ring, yeah.
Um,
So chat's
And
300.
then they didn't get a Feast for Odin. They said Food Chain Magnet.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chat is now in the lead. With
Oh,
300.
now there's even more pressure. I'm losing to 2 people now.
But Chris, you maintain control. Chat will
Okay,
not
let's
get
go.
control.
Let's go Party Games 400.
Party games for 100 or 400?
400.
400. Party games for 400. We're diving in. What is the most popular party game funded on Kickstarter?
Buzz.
Buzz. Go for it.
Devin definitely buzzed first.
Oh my goodness. I think I'm wrong, but I'm gonna say Exploding Kittens.
What is Exploding Kittens?
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness.
I was like, oh, please, dry. Please
Chat
dry
got it as
here.
well, but unfortunately, so the benefit of chat, and Chris, you may have seen this last week, the
Yeah, I
downside of
did.
chat is you guys have had first dibs. The upside of
Yeah.
chat is there's more of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
In my head, I almost was gonna say, what's the Cards Against Humanity?
Mm.
That was the other one that I was like.
I
should
wish
say
you would have said that.
Yeah.
I wish you would have said that.
Devin, go for it.
Okay. Well, let's go to the only one untouched. People for 200.
Buzz, who is Chris George?
Oh, I'm sorry, you two.
The only one who's untouched.
Okay.
Oh, that was
Ready. Moving into 200.
Hey, Jenna.
Who
Board
is
Game
the
Garden
artist
here.
of Tapestry?
Buzz?
Go ahead.
That's Andrew Bosley.
Who is Andrew Bosley?
I didn't know Andrew Bosley did Tapestry. I've never played Tapestry.
I specifically
I
chose
like
a
Tapestry quite a
slightly less known Andrew Bosley title.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. I do find that sometimes when you say Andrew Bosley did Tapestry, people are like, "Oh, I guess I see that now," and that's why I picked that. That's why I picked it. But still, only 200. It's not that impressive.
We love you,
Pet-
Jenna.
We love you,
Petrified
Jenna.
got it. Hi, Jenna. Let's hang out soon.
Jenna, sorry I didn't reply to your text, but thank you. I'll find someone else for Santorini. It's all good.
Alex, could we finagle that for
What? Oh,
Who
I would
said let's hang out?
absolutely invite her. We should
good.
talk. We should
Let's
talk.
do
Okay.
it. We're gonna make it to where each person is so interested by the other that they can't say no.
It's gonna be our own little convention. It's all fun. It's all fun and games.
Jenna and I live like an hour and 10 minutes from each other, and we've been trying to hang out since October, but we're both
Well,
so busy.
Well,
maybe
we can make that
talk.
happen.
We can make that happen. Anyways, moving on. Moving on to the next one. That was who got that? Devin got that. Darn it.
I
Devin,
will
choose a question.
say party games for 200.
Party games for 200. How many party games are in the Board Game Geek top 100?
Oh
Buzz.
gosh.
Chris, go for it.
2.
I don't understand. Is that an answer?
He said two.
Oh, 2. I think he said
what is
who.
2?
Okay, what is 2? What is 2? Okay. That is incorrect.
Buzz,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say 4.
That is incorrect.
Did chat get it in their 6
Nope,
guesses?
chat
that
did not
they
get it.
got?
And the answer is the only answer on the board that is not phrased as a question, because the answer is just one. It's not just one. It's not just one. It's Decrypto.
Dang it.
But just
Dang
one.
it. Sushi Ghost
Oh,
not in
wow.
there?
The only party game in the Board Game Geek Top 100, as defined by their listings, I should say, is Decrypto. Codenames is out there. Decrypt. Just One is out there. They're all out there.
So you made that a clever joke answer.
I did.
see that.
Just One is not
Steve.
the one, but it's Just One is the answer. I didn't want to say what is Just One because that would be wrong. But yeah.
Okay.
Dang.
A dad joke
on a
indeed. A
Tuesday.
dad joke indeed.
Madness.
I was proud of this answer because I thought it was clever.
I almost said
Madness.
1, but I was like, there's got to be more than 1.
It's shocking, right? It is disappointing.
We
disappointing.
need someone to make a meme of Alex on Gerard Butler's body and be like, "Madness, this is the weekly live." Just do like the Sparta
Yeah.
kick.
That's what would look appropriate. My face on that body, that would look like a real fit. Anyways, with that, moving on
All right.
to Devin. You maintained the board.
Oh,
What are you feeling, Chris?
throw me a freaking bone
Oh,
here.
All right, crowdfunding for 300.
Crowdfunding for 300. Starting off with
Okay.
Kingdom Death Monster 1.5, the second highest funded campaign of all time, has backers still waiting for the Gambler's Chest. What year did the campaign launch?
Buzz.
Mm.
2019.
That is incorrect, Chris.
Buzz. I thought it was early. I want to say 2016. What is 2016?
Ooh, this would have been Shat's points. I'm giving the points to Chris because it's 2016.
Oh, yes.
When is November
you
25th,
get
2016? I'm also going to give Chat the points because of how quickly George jumped on that. So I'm going to give Chat the points as well over here.
November 25th,
golly.
2016. Under the
Fun
wire.
fact, it ended in 2017. It ended the first week. This was a long campaign.
Wow.
But so I had to be very specific. When year did the campaign launch? I was very specific because I didn't want to leave any room for confusion.
Wow.
But yeah. And they're still waiting for the Gambler's Chest. Yeah. The original question was going to be how overdue is it, but that would lead to a debate
Right.
as to when was it expected, was it part of the
Yeah,
original
yeah,
stretch goal, so I
yeah.
left it out. but I did want to make a dig at Kingdom Death Monster.
Yeah, how did you get that, Chris? That's ridiculous.
That is pretty good.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I just know it's
In
been a long
2016,
time.
I was in grad school in 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Anyways.
it's just been a while. And I started like
successful.
yeah, because I started getting interested in crowdfunding like around 2018 because I think Rising Sun was 2018. That was my first Kickstarter. So like so I feel like I knew it was before 2018 and then yeah, that was my so it was half guess, half
Well, either way, it's all the points. Moving on, Chris, it's your board.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Okay, we're going to go with food 300.
Food for 300. Everdell is known for a particular food component. What is
Buzz.
that?
Buzz.
Squishy berries.
What are berries or squishy berries? Either one is an acceptable
That
answer.
felt like a tie buzz.
Not to me.
No,
Not to
it
me.
was not even
It did not?
close.
No.
It was not even close.
Yeah, honestly, this shouldn't have even been this is 300. That's disappointing. That should have been 100. I don't know why there was 300. I apologize.
I
to
said
chat.
it. I said it as I heard Devin saying it. So maybe I'm a bit behind. Maybe I'm delayed.
Maybe
I'm
I'm
delayed.
That's why you're losing.
That might be it.
That might be it.
That might be it. I really thought we were in sync there for that one.
Oh, you're mentally in sync, but you're delayed.
Oh, and
Dang.
physically, but just not.
Yeah, but that's again
Oh,
for
Kevin,
other
you
stuff.
absolute prince.
Kevin. Kevin is
Kevin.
like the sweetest.
Kevin is the
Kevin.
sweetest.
Golly.
With that said,
How did we ever think Kevin was anything other than an orange K?
Kevin was all I was sure he was an orange K. I was right. I was like, you're not our Kevin, and you guys are like, that's
Oh.
offensive. I'm like, it's not offensive. He's not our Kevin. He's a delightful Kevin.
I saw that episode too. I felt bad for Kevin. I felt bad for Kevin.
Oh, hey Kevin, I just want you to know that you inspired me with your generosity, and I just recently finished ordering Ivy Studios their Crokinole board, so it
Aw.
will get to them at some point. But they'll have their little logo on a Crokinole board. So you're Kevin, you're amazing.
Kevin is amazing, and it is currently Devin's board.
I think I'm behind. I think I'm delayed here.
Yes,
But,
a Tracy board.
There's
I think Chris George is delayed. Oh, you agree with me? Yeah, I hear.
That was so good.
How dare you?
That was so good. It took me a second. Oh my goodness, that was so good. Oh, it made me happy.
All right, Devin,
is
what are we
your-
doing?
Alternatives for 500.
Whoa, a big 500. There is no
Okay.
daily double, by the way. This program doesn't let you do it, unfortunately. I could have just manually assigned one, but I didn't care. Moving on to
All right.
this popular area control game went back to Kickstarter in 2020 to deluxify and add an expansion.
Buzz.
Hit me.
No. Oh no, not
You
2020.
buzzed.
Not 2020. Oh, not 2020. No. I was gonna say Kemet, and then I heard 2020. It's not that.
Make a guess.
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. I said Kemet, so that was what is
Kemet?
Kemet?
Okay.
Yeah, not Kemet.
The answer is what is Kemet? It's 2021, isn't it? Kemet was in
Yeah.
2021 or 2020?
Kemet wasn't in 2020.
Okay, because I am 90%. Can chat? Someone in chat. We're gonna give you the points to this because you guessed Kemet. You locked it in.
Was
the-
Kemet
Oh,
the
the answer is
answer?
what is Kemet? Yes.
Oh, I think that's wrong.
So I think it's
So
wrong.
it says 2021 on BGG.
But is that when it delivered or was it on Kickstarter? I can't. I think it's 2021 too. The question is, did I double check my dates beforehand or not?
I'm looking it up right now. It was. Oh no, it was 2020.
It
was
was
the end,
2020.
very
It
end,
says May
December-
May
26,
26, 2020.
Okay, there it is. So
There we
your
go.
answer is correct, and I checked my work. But like as you're going through this, I was like, I'm pretty sure it's 2021. I hope I did this right.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think I got thrown by
absolutely-
like the delivery date.
I absolutely should be doing smaller points to try to get ahead to where it just crushes his spirit, but I'm doing big points that allows him to get back in it. I'm just, it's.
I really didn't think I had that. I thought
Yep.
I thought that was wrong. But
By the way, I'm going to even
I was
chat
gonna
the
say-
points too because chat also guessed it nearly right away. In general, I have like leeway is how I play chat, but if chat gets it right away and it's not something
Yeah,
super
yeah.
obvious like berries, I'm giving them points. Okay. Chris, it's your board.
Okay. Let's go with alternatives 400.
Alternatives of 400.
Golly.
This popular series of games has 26 associated games, 3 of which are in the top 100. Dun 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 dun.
3 of which are in the top 100.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm like.
26
getting-
because I was thinking that was going to be something smaller, like a Smash Up or something.
I love when you think out loud, and at some point, Devin's going to snatch what you say out loud and be like, "Buzz, smash up," and be
Yeah,
right.
I know. That's often what happens whenever I play a board game. I'm like, I'm going to do this whole strategy, and people look at me and they go, "Okay, I'll go to a different spot."
I looked at chat and I think they're right, so I'm not gonna say
That's
anything.
noble. Don't look at chat. Why would you look at chat?
I was looking back at the question and I saw it in the corner of my eye, and I
Minimize
think
chat.
they're right.
You can take it off. You can close it.
I can close chat.
I've
Yeah.
been moving the screen from side to
Hide
side.
chat. Oh my goodness! I didn't even know.
I would
you
never.
could do
I would
that.
never hide chat. I would never hide chat. I'm not going to
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Okay.
get it.
Chat is therefore
Buzz,
going to
what
get the
is Star
points.
Wars?
What is Pandemic?
Yeah, because I wasn't thinking about
Oh.
legacy.
Seasons 1, 2, and 3 have been.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. Well, chat. And chat, by the way, chat was fast, not fast enough. I would not have given them the points if one of you had gotten it, because they took a little delay. Anyways, 26 titles. Brian, the West Kingdom is not up 26 titles yet. Give it time. Anyways, moving on.
Still
Chris maintains
Chris is bored.
control.
Yeah.
Chat's winning.
Let's go. Well, chat's
I
gonna win
didn't.
this. guaranteed.
I unhid you, Adam. I can't. I like reading people's comments too much.
Yeah. That's why I keep moving back and forth. I'm like, what are you saying? Okay, ready for a question? Let's all calm down here and let's go food for 100.
Food for 100. What food is most often associated negatively with snacking at the table?
Buzz.
As-
Chips.
No.
Incorrect.
Buzz, Cheetos.
Okay, so
Like Cheetos, Doritos, chips.
What are Cheetos?
no, so here's a tough one. I'm not sure what to do with this one. I wrote Doritos, but I actually agree with Cheetos.
Cheetos.
Okay,
It's Cheetos.
that's literally what I
I
was
agree
saying.
with Cheetos.
No,
If-
you said
Cheetos,
No.
Doritos, anything
No,
with
chips-
anything.
If anyone thinks Devin gets the points, comment in chat.
Yeah.
If
Literally,
anyone thinks,
I was like, oh, Cheetos, Doritos,
no,
chips.
that's fine. Devin, let's see what chat says. Let's see if they got you
Yeah,
back.
everyone in chat is saying Cheetos.
Yeah, I'm giving the points to
You don't give me the fucking points for this.
no one. No one has your back, Devin.
You don't get
No
the
one
point.
has your back.
Holy shit.
Just chips, potato chips. What are chips most associated as? Potato chips, aka potato, aka not Doritos, which are corn chips.
So Srebme, it is unfortunately I screwed up. It is definitely Cheetos. I'm giving the Chris the points, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I can't fucking believe that you are not giving me points right now.
100%,
I'm
100%.
gonna come to Cleveland
The fact that
and
you
I'm
said
gonna
chips
put my
is-
boot up your ass.
Chips are
Holy
absolutely
shit.
not
The
the right answer.
chips are absolutely the wrong answer. If you had
wanna-
said
what aisle
Doritos,
are Cheetos and Doritos in when you go to the fucking store? They're in the goddamn fucking chips aisle because that's what they are. I was doing plural because there's multiple things, and you guys were like Cheetos and Doritos. What are those plurally in? It's under the umbrella of fucking chips.
no, it's under the umbrella of
Yeah,
snack
yeah,
food.
Devin,
Food,
Devin,
aka
Devin.
the category of Jeopardy.
If you had answered for Everdell, vegetables, would that have been a fruits? If you had answered fruits, would that be
Yeah.
an acceptable answer?
Yeah,
If Chris had buzzed in first and said fruits, would you have accepted that answer?
yeah. What
Tell
if I
me with
said
a straight face.
little pink
Tell me
things?
with a straight face you'd accept that answer.
You are using such an erroneous argument. There's not multiple.
Love the little fruits in
component.
Everdell. I was gonna say fruits. I love the little fruits in Everdell. They're my favorite things. Squishy.
Okay, if
Lots
Cheetos
of juices in them.
aren't chips, what
Bad
are
for board
they?
game.
What snack category are
They're cheese-
Cheetos in?
No one said snack
Chips.
category.
They're cheese puffs.
You pick a freaking thing, Chris. You both stuff.
Oh, we're going food 200.
Oh,
Okay. I will try to remove. I'm gonna be so much harder on Alex.
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Moving on. In the Feast for Odin, what food is the smallest orange tile?
Buzz. It's like the bowl of cornmeal. Or the bowl of grain.
That's incorrect.
It's
just not. Go,
Fruits.
Chat has gotten it with, what are peas?
I can't even see. I've literally played that game one time in person. Only
Peas-
played it online. I've
Basically
never even
fruits
read.
and vegetables. How come
I've
I'm
never-
not getting the points here?
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I'm gonna
Fruits and
burn.
vegetables. They're
I'm
in
gonna
they're in
burn
the
this
same
live stream
food
down.
pyramid category.
I'm gonna.
Peas are basically fruits.
Oh my goodness! I'm not
You used
upset
to
about
like
this
me.
one. I'm not upset about this one. The Doritos Cheetos chips thing is a hill that I will kill both of you on.
That's okay.
It is
That's okay.
upsetting when you're so wrong. You're right. Buddy.
We're gonna.
Let's
Right.
clear the board because it's still me because neither of us got it. Let's clear the. I've never played Feast for Odin, so I had no chance there. Food for 400.
Are you ready? Devin, you calm down. You ready to go?
No, I'm not fucking calm. I should be at 11
That's why
fucking
I keep
100
picking
points.
food.
Screw both of you.
We're gonna give Devin a. I can't. I was gonna give you a bonus point of 1, but I can't. It was just switch screens. Moving on to 400, we have a popular game from Elf Creek Games features which food product found
Buzz.
in nature?
Ah, shoot.
Honey Buzz.
Nice.
Buzz for Honey Buzz.
That is correct.
Good one.
I
Why
wanted
are
to
you
be
giving
like.
that to chat? What
Oh,
the
whoa,
shit?
sorry. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. That was a mistake.
What the absolute crap? What is
That was a
happening here?
mistake.
This
That was
is
a
a
mistake.
concerted, coordinated effort. I don't like
I
this.
love the idea. I wanted to, like, if for that question, as soon as someone said buzz, I wanted to be like, yes, but you have to buzz first. But then it means the answer. Anyways,
Funny.
that is done with the food category, and Devin,
Yep.
it is to you.
Blood pressure's rising today. Alternatives for 100.
Alternatives for 100. This trick-taking game has 2 versions in the top 100.
Buzz.
Hit me.
The Crew.
What is the Crew?
Nice.
Chat should get it
Chat's
too.
getting
They
it as
were-
well.
they
Yep,
were-
they're fast.
right there as well.
Devin,
I was
what is
not
yours?
fast. Devin's fired up. You know what? Devin's entered into Super Saiyan mode.
He's like, I'm
Devin's-
done. I'm done. Devin's
Devin's-
gonna win the game and be pissed off.
You know what? Devin's turned into Anakin. He's feeling the hate flow through him. It's working. It's working.
At the like Chris is gonna win. He's gonna be like, I have the high ground, Devin. Don't do it. Alternatives for
Fun
200.
fact: in the thumbnail, I'm pretty sure that's the shirt I'm wearing. I have the high ground.
Oh really?
Yeah. Okay. Alternatives for 200. Ready? And we are. This top 20 horror game on BGG just announced a 3rd iteration.
Buzz.
Go ahead.
I think it's actually just announced. Then I think it's Nemesis.
What is Nemesis? And chat's
Yeah.
gonna get it too because chat was fast.
I almost
Dang.
like Cthulhu Death May Die, and I was like, just announced is not.
And
is-
that would be a
yeah.
2nd edition.
Yeah.
I was hoping that you would.
Oh, season
You're
1
giving
and
that one.
2, season 3. Yeah,
Yep.
you're right. No.
Okay. Devin, still your board.
Party games for 100.
The popular party game Codenames gives how many clue cards to the team
Buzz.
that goes first? You buzzed in, right, Devin?
No, that was
I
Chris.
buzzed.
That was
I
Chris.
buzzed.
I did
I
not buzz.
buzzed.
I didn't.
9.
Chat.
What is 9?
Oh, how many is 9? I don't actually know how
would
Jeopardy
never-
works. Would you say what is 9 or how many is 9? I don't even know.
You'd
I think
say,
you always say like, what is 9?
what is? I think it's what.
Well,
who,
well,
How,
when.
also-
how many is 9?
Also,
is
all
9.
of your clues need to not be in the form of a question as well.
Me?
Yeah, if
Oh.
it's like official Jeopardy, because then like we say you've given the answer and we say
You give
we
a
say the
statement.
question.
We say it in a question.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I
don't
started
understand that at all.
I started to do all of mine as questions, and then I went back and
I've
rewrote all of
never
mine.
liked that Jeopardy system. I just have been following it. I thought I was following it. Now I'm not even following it. What's the point, honestly?
Hey, we got some fun categories. That's what
Did I give
matters.
Chris the points? I don't know if I
No,
gave
you
Chris the points.
need
No,
to
you
give him
didn't. You
points.
didn't.
He
Okay.
needs to be at 1,200.
My
Okay.
measly
now-
little.
Chris, to you.
Let's go party games 300.
Party games for 300. What is the number one ranked party game on Board Game Geek?
Buzz.
Go ahead.
Decrypto.
I forgot that this was a question when I told you that. I forgot that was a
I was
question.
like, this is too easy.
What is
And
the
then
crypto?
You
I
gotta
totally-
strike. You gotta strike.
So, fun fact, I remembered that there was a self-referencing question, and that was Feast for Odin and Peas, where there's two referenced twice. I forgot that I had the crypto there, and I mentally had, when I wrote
I
the
would
quiz...
not have gotten it had we
This
not
is,
had
it's
the previous
Derek
one.
Chu. That's the Derek Chu strategy. It builds
Wow.
up.
I mentally prepped for the fact that I have to not give that away, and I totally forgot. Anyways, Devin, you're aboard.
Party games for 500.
What popular party game has sales of 40 to 50 million a year and is rated a 5.8 on Board Game Geek?
Buzz.
Go ahead.
Cranium.
What is
Cranium?
Incorrect.
Buzz.
Go ahead.
Cards Against Humanity.
What is Cards Against Humanity?
What? Oh. I'm glad it's rated that low. I
give
just
George the
assume
points, too.
people love funny card
Ugh.
games. Oh, no.
Yeah.
I was
that's
surprised
horrible.
at how low it was rated. I thought it would get more points. I agree
I
with
thought
you.
it would be like sitting around, 6.9 for some reason.
Yeah. Well,
That was low hanging fruit.
it was good. It was good. Anyways, I'm glad it's rated that low, though.
Oh,
And
Yeah. me
Devin,
too.
it's your board.
People for 100.
Who is the
This
designer
is-
of Brass Birmingham?
Buzz.
That was me.
I'm willing. We should give
I
you.
like literally for me. I
For
said
me,
buzz
it's
and I heard
simultaneous.
a buzz.
For me, it's simultaneous.
Wow, I heard like buzz.
John and George are saying the Chris first, so I'm gonna give board collect. First to 4 votes gets
That
the
was
gets
like.
the thing.
Oh, wow.
Come on, take
First
pity
to
on me.
4.
Look at the scores.
First to 4.
Who is Martin
First to
Wallace?
4.
I did a design interview
Tied,
with
nope,
him over on
not tied.
WSBG.
Chris, that's the third. They got 3-2. Whoever gets the 4 first. Boom.
Oh.
4 first.
God.
Chris.
Come
is
on,
Martin
obviously,
Wallace?
who's Martin Wallace?
It's
Yeah.
all you chip motherfuckers.
I actually did a great interview with him over on WSBG's channel
I
about
knew that
his
you'd have
design
this.
process.
Yeah, when I was
It's
going
all
through this.
you. It's
Yeah.
all you Cheeto Puff punks. Chris.
No, this was a
Yes.
pity vote. The Cheeto thing was fair.
No. This was definitely pity. This was definitely pity. But
It was genuinely
that-
tied for me, but pity tie.
But that's also really good for me to know. So I don't feel that bad about my horrible like reaction time because I feel I've been getting a delay.
Anyways, from there,
Did you give him points? I don't think you gave him
Yeah.
points.
yeah, I did, didn't I?
No.
I thought I
yeah.
did. I guess not.
I had the pity points from party games, and now I get pity points from people.
Okay, Chris, you're bored.
Yeah. Let's go people for 300.
What is the
Derek
name of
Chu,
the cat
bro.
faction in Root?
Buzz.
Oh. Buzz.
Marquis de Cat.
Damn.
Oh, I'll give it to you, Marquis the cat.
Someone
Oh,
said
wait.
Marquis de Chat, which I think that's clever.
That's funny. Moving on, Devin, it's your board. Chris, you're still in the game.
Crowdfunding for 400, Chris.
Trying to save
With
those.
29 million in total funding, what company has the second highest total funding on Kickstarter?
Buzz.
Buzz.
Devin,
Simon.
incorrect. Chris,
29 million. Buzz. Who is Mythic?
incorrect. Chat is going to get the points with who is Awaken Realms.
Oh.
And it's a trick question because they're not on Kickstarter anymore, but they still have
They're not
the
on Kickstarter
second
anymore,
highest total
yeah.
funding. Even with them leaving, they are still the
Wow.
second highest.
Yeah, because Etherfield,
So
Cheetah
how
Trail,
many
Nemesis, Nemesis
does
were all on it.
how many does Cephalofair have?
Not 29 million, I'll tell you that
Not
much.
29. They have 14, and then Gloomhaven's
That's
original was like
1.5
500.
or
Yeah. It wasn't like anything significant.
I don't know what happened to my camera, but it is
Yes, just turn it off and on again. Literally.
turn it off and on.
Yeah.
Dang. Oh, that was a good one.
Oh, we lost. Oh, they're back. Okay.
I don't know
Chris,
why it went.
Devin, you're aboard still.
Let's get my pain over with. Crowdfunding for 500.
Come On is Kickstarter's biggest creator with 100 million of total funding. What is their highest rated non-crowdfunding game?
Buzz.
Go ahead.
Modern art.
Incorrect.
Now, I guess I can't ask this.
Petrified said it looked better when it was off.
I'd say like highest rated in terms of like number, like one.
So it's a little.
Or
I
like
specifically
literally
phrased it a
highest
certain
rated.
way. It's literally the highest rated, meaning in terms of BGG rankings.
Okay. No, that was crowdfunding.
I love throwing a non-crowdfunding subterfuge in the crowdfunding one.
It's very offensive because I was banking on these 500 points.
I was banking on it.
I think this is wrong because I think it was crowdfunded. It was crowdfunded because they had extras for it, so it can't be that because it was in the vault. I'll say Buzz Lorenzo Il Magnifico because Come On technically has the license for it now.
Incorrect. Chat is going to get the point, but they had a bunch of answers, but one of them was still correct. What is Sheriff of Nottingham?
Oh, nice,
Now,
John.
this
Well done.
is a
Is
tricky
Lorenzo
one.
not higher?
Lorenzo is not under. If you click on Come On and you pull up the titles, it's not higher.
But it's
Yeah.
Come On my box.
Now the tricky one is that's the thing. I was a little concerned about this question because this was originally Arcane Wonders, but it is Come On
Right.
now.
Okay,
But that's
well,
why-
I had it when it was. I think my original copy of it was Arcane Wonders. I think.
It's also their most owned, but I specifically want to shy away from owned because the ones that are owned might not be theirs. So I want to shy away from
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, because they also have Lorenzo too.
Sash,
I
that
think.
makes sense. I frequently mess up the F and the N's in those words. Anyways, but with that said, we are going to move
I
on.
love how you defended the F's and the N's. And it
No,
was
I messed up the
E that
sheriff.
you
Sheriff.
misspelled.
I'll
he's-
throw 2 R's and an F into sheriff.
Oh,
I'll mess it up. But anyways, Nottingham, just why not? Okay.
I think you spelled sheriff right.
He or she is saying I spelled it wrong, and I just believe them.
No,
No, you
you
spelled
spelled,
it right.
sheriff right. You spelled Nottingham wrong.
Sorry. No, sorry. I know I spelled sheriff right. I'm saying Nottingham was wrong. I'm just commenting both of those words
Oh.
are. Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
I'm doubling down on how wrong I am.
Oh, it's gonna be tough. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to catch chat.
I don't know. I think I'll be able to.
Keep in mind, chat's win is a combination of points, so there is that upside. You can still sleep well at night, just not as well.
I think I'll be able.
I think I could have gotten a few
400.
more points without the delay, but I think you still would have beaten me, Devin.
The delay is problematic because if there's actually a delay, he's hearing the questions like a second later. But it is what it is.
I like the
Moves-
challenge.
Moves to the U.S.
Yeah, that's it. That's the reason. Canadian tax.
It's Canadian tax.
Devin, the board is yours.
I said people for 400.
The owner of Board Game Geek is affectionately known as.
Buzz.
Go ahead.
The geek.
Nope.
Well, who is the geek?
No idea. Not the owner of Board Game Geek.
Do I actually know this? Is it?
Fun fact: I did make sure I knew this well before I got into content creation. Like this is something I knew just being someone on the Geek. It's his username on the Geek.
Is it the Eric guy or what's his name?
Interesting. You guys don't know who the owner of Board Game Geek is, do you?
Fruits
No.
and fruits
Is it
and
the guy?
Cheetos.
Is it the one with the long hair?
He does have longish hair.
You're thinking of someone on game night?
No, that's not the owner.
That's not
someone
him.
else.
Oh, I saw it in chat, so I'm not going to say anything.
Well, then it's
Chat
chat.
has
'cause I already.
got Devin missed it and Chris is out. Who
I'm
is
out, yeah.
Aldi? His name's Scott Alden, affectionately known as Aldi, which is his username.
I hear he's a really good place to shop at for good discounts.
That would be Aldi's with an S.
I hear he's got lovely shoes.
Moving on to People with 500, the last question on the board, and we are going to go ahead and see what is the last name of the family behind the popular game Terraforming Mars?
Buzz.
I can't pronounce it. I can't pronounce it.
Brixus.
I'm gonna give it to you. Who are the
Frixelius.
Frixeliuses?
Yeah, I was gonna say Fricks, and then I was like, but it's got other letters after Fricks.
Yep. And that is basically that quiz. Also, Alan, to this day, I will continue to call it Come On because I like it and because at this point it's fun.
Yeah,
But-
I'm calling it come on too. I was
Give me
saying
my
Simon for so
points.
long.
Give me
Oh,
my
your points. There we go. There you go. A very strong victory. Yep,
For Chris George.
for Chris George.
For Chris George.
And that is the game show. That is going to be your little Jeopardy game show. I hope you
What
all
would be
enjoy.
funny is if Chris started to answer the first question we asked, be like, "Oh, I know the answer. Oh, there must be a delay."
Yeah, we won, everyone. But Devin, also just for the record, Chips was wrong. Chips was 100%.
Oh my god!
yeah,
I was
100%
like,
wrong.
chips.
Honestly, can
Doritos.
Devin
Cheetos.
lose all of his points because of how bad that answer was?
Oh no! I will personally hug the shit out of you two when I see you guys. That's how mad I am. Hug
There we
you
go.
guys.
There we go. Done. Okay.
Negative 11,000. Dear God.
Honestly, it's appropriate.
And with that, we can go ahead and dive into the rest of the segment. This is the Patreon sponsored segment where the members of our Patreon go ahead and choose the various topics they want to see talked about. And this particular week, the games I decided to talk about, as I try to find out where my notes are, were, I can't find my notes, genuinely no idea where they are. There they are the publishers. So this is from a specific comment that said, I'd love to see the publishers that do content that you guys like. I'd like you to talk about those. Like who's in the publishing space. So an example would be James Hudson, for example. He is both a publisher, a designer, but he also does content. He talks about the board game space. He talks about the game itself. He talks about showcases his games, but then also talks about behind the scenes, what's going on, publication, all that stuff, production, things happening out there in the board game space. And so just a small little, and I'm going to keep this short because it is running late because of the 20-minute later start. But just who are people in the board game space do you want to talk about? And for instance, I'll start with one of my favorites, which they temporarily stopped it, but it's actually appropriate for today, which is Ivy Games. Ivy Games for a while had a segment where they do their own content in general. So they always have content. They've been heavily hitting it like a ton of shorts and short form content for the past several months with their Fracture Skies, which just launched today. But in general, one of my favorite series that was on YouTube for a short time that supposedly will be brought back at some point is when Austin would review crowdfunding games from the stance of a creator. Like, why would you do something like this? Or what the thought process behind this was. Just small little tidbits about different things about how they approach crowdfunding, what they do for their campaigns, and how that manifests, in terms of them reviewing other campaigns and giving feedback. It was an excellent series. I absolutely loved it. I think it was every week, if I'm not mistaken, but I loved watching it. I found it very insightful.
Cool.
Nice.
How many do you want us to have?
Oh, I brought like 4 or 5, but we can just jump in around.
Okay, cool. I just didn't know if I had to, I have a couple that I want to talk about, but I didn't know if I had to put the ones that I really want to talk about forward first. So I'll start off with, Devin and I were talking about this before the stream started, and he said, I'm doing this, and I said, I was going to do that as well. And
I see the crossover.
So Jamie Stegmaier, Jamie Stegmaier has such great content. He does lists. I really like his lists about how he approaches his sort of top 10 games. He goes like, these are my top 10 games that I like right now as of March 2023, right? And so that sort of idea of them being fluctuating and just things that he's enjoying, I really enjoy. And then I also really like whenever he talks about mechanisms and
My favorite board game mechanism.
Yeah, and how they implement into games. And he's like, oh, these are my top 10 Rondell mechanism games. I think I really like looking at things from a mechanical point of view, and I think when we really define what we like about a game, that helps us become better consumers, and it helps us better identify for ourselves what is going to hit with us. And then especially in this crowdfunding sphere where a lot of this is sort of nebulous and whatever, by identifying that sort of joy and connection to the mechanics of it, you can really see if a game's going to be right for you or not based upon what they're putting forward. So I really appreciate those looks as well, based specifically around mechanics. And yeah, I think he's just got a nice presence, and it's nice that in his sort of blog content, he's so open about the inner workings of the business as well.
Yeah,
right.
There's
There's the great about Wingspan, about how much it costs, and like the actual chain of things, and like really outlining and not being nebulous about it, saying it takes this amount to go here, this amount to go here, like, and really just breaking it down. I just found that so insightful and also helpful as a consumer when I'm looking at like prices and bemoaning the cost of something. It helps like me check myself a little bit in terms of knowing more that happens behind the scenes as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you put him there because I completely forgot to, and he's a great choice. He has an incredible blog, incredible content. I mean, he's like, his numbers also are insane. Like, he's got like, I don't know, 30,000 followers on Instagram, something like that, 40,000 YouTube subscribers. Like, he really has a lot of incredible content and does an amazing job. And so, like, yeah, I'm glad you put him there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamie Stegmaier was mine. The one that I gravitate to. I think you guys are just more like business, industry, crowdfunding, like behind the scenes savvy than I am. So I don't necessarily like gravitate to the kind of like behind the scenes talk that he does. But I really like the board game mechanism. Just like my mind just kind of focuses on a little bit more of like the creative side of things. And so seeing the design questions and like the way that he kind of break down stuff, and I think that also just the games that he picks to do that for, I'm like, I feel like I could play games with Jamie and like we'd have a good time. Like he seems to have a sense of taste that I appreciate. So let's see. I mean, you've done it from kind of like a big publisher who's seen it from all sides. You know, Alex, you mentioned IV, who does it from, kind of like the crowdfunding like breakdown as a publisher who's in that space. I'll go with Danny Lowe. Now she doesn't do as much maybe video content, but she's done a lot of content for it's a space that like I have thought about more as I've pushed into it, but like kind of the marketing and the communications side of things for a publisher, because it like as for us as content creators, the people that we communicate with, it very much like changes or adjusts how easy a conversation is. And like Alex and I have talked about, when you have a face at a company that you can like, rather than whether it's just a blank like info account or something like that, like when someone is an established contact at a publisher, it's just so much more helpful to like have a relationship that you can like connect with that, rather than it being some just nebulous publisher like masked behind the scenes or whatever. And I think Danny does a really good job of breaking down. I think she's one of the best professionals in the industry at the job that she does, and it's really insightful to me to hear her. Like she does like Twitter threads, and we'll do kind of like we'll go on other people's shows like Maple Syrup Show and other content that allows her to talk about like what it takes to really communicate and present a publisher's catalog to people, whether it's consumers or whether it's content creators. So I find her to be very informative in a area that I'm not really qualified or experienced in. So it's really insightful to me.
Yeah. For me, another one's going to be, and this is one that it's always like a tricky one because of communication and all that, but I really enjoy the amount, frequency, and just content that CMON's live streams have. Whenever they're doing a campaign, they have a lot of pre and post. I say even more than that. They have regular updates where they just do these hour-long live streams that are incredibly popular, get a lot of community engagement, and just really they put a lot of information out there. Like by the time a campaign launches or doing campaigns, they just do a great job of throwing that teaser spot in, of talking to the community. They obviously do pick and choose their answers and whatnot in terms of what they're going to spoil, or if they want to engage with something. But I appreciate and this is something that's fairly new for them. I don't think it's something that they used to do. I think it's something they started doing in the past like 2 years. But I've really enjoyed their overall just live stream presentation and the frequency with which they do it and the stuff that they're showcasing.
That this wasn't one that I was thinking of, but you bringing that up, and I'll bring it up because maybe you can't. Like I really like Marcin from Awakened Realms doing a very similar thing with his sort of live streams. Yes. I found when I was, because I backed Aetherfields, I was very excited for Aetherfields, and I would tune in. This was even before I got into like content creation. I would tune in every Monday. I'd be like, what are the next little thing? And he just is so excited to talk about stuff and and like even just listening to him talk about like shipping logistics and whatever, I was like, oh, I can't wait, because I was really excited to get that game. So yeah, I find his weekly live streams, anything where like somebody takes that time from who's in a higher up, who has a bunch of information and takes that time to just like answer community questions, and having an open forum where that happens, I think is really nice. So I'll give a shout out to Awaken Realms on that too, for sure.
I'm trying to agree with that.
Paid sponsorship.
No, I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
That's why I said it.
I'll pay you later
No,
with this.
because that struck you talking about commands, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, maybe Alex can't say this, but I think it does legitimately like deserve a shout out.
Yeah, no, I remember I did a video a long time ago of like some of the best companies, and I definitely put Awaken Realms in there because specifically of his Monday live stream. I just think it's so. It's just such a degree of engagement, and it really engages like heavily. It feels like he's just talking to a bunch of friends or whatever. It's just like conversational stuff.
Yeah, somebody in the chat was saying GameFound's chief marketing officer is pretty good at doing video content too. I agree. I like his
that
stuff
guy's
as
a
well.
shill. I hate him.
So true.
I've got one that I do want to shout out though. If Devin, you don't want to do it.
You can go for it. I'm
Okay.
thinking more.
Because I'm really excited about this pick, and I think everybody should go check them out. They only have like 87 subscribers, and they've made one game. They're called Cogito Ergo Meeple, and
It's a great name.
and what I really loved, they did this game Solar 175. If you remember, it was on Kickstarter.
Yes.
Yeah. It was like Legacy Orleans in space, basically, is what it was. It looked really good. I thought it looked very interesting. For me, it was probably made it to top 20 Kickstarters of 2021 of things that I was like interested in. But I also I found them before that. Like when I was first starting out making content, I found there was a really small channel, and they did this awesome series about the history of Monopoly. The history of Monopoly.
That's dope.
This 3-part series that I recommend everybody go watch, because it was so fascinating, and I didn't know the history of Monopoly, and there's a whole. It originally wasn't called Monopoly; it was called The Landlord's Game, and it was by a different creator. And then she basically got. It was a commentary on like the rich get richer sort of thing, and that like the whole game itself is sort of broken by design as a sort of commentary piece. And then literally Hasbro just stole it from her, didn't pay her really anything, and then took it to make a whole bunch of money. And that irony is heartbreaking to me, but it's like well worth. They went into detail, like really well produced. It was a fascinating series. It was like 10 minutes for each part, so it was like half an hour. So very well worth the watch. And then because I'd seen that made me take a lot more note when I found out they were producing their own board game. I was like, these people know what they're talking about. Like they do some really cool investigative content, and it made me excited for the game. And then the rulebook also made me excited for the game. So I would love for them to do a ton more content. I don't know if their channel's like dead or not, and because it kind of shifted to talking about design principles for Solar 175, which makes sense. But that whole Monopoly series was really, really good.
That reminds me, like one of my favorite series on YouTube is on Ars Technica.
Oh yeah, Parker Brothers.
It's called War Stories, and it's pretty much kind of a analysis or interview or inside look into how like the creative process or the story behind a game. And I think that that's what that reminds me of, is like a board game version of that in terms of kind of breaking that down. And I think that's why I like all of these creators that we've been talking about, is I think it's so much more interesting to have the nuance in the context of what has to happen for like the games that we play to be created. And I think that I like a lot of the people that we've been talking about for what that do. Gabe Barrett at Successful Geese just mentioned. I know that Gabe Barrett is the one that he does like the solo games. I've the Realm of Shadows like trio
Realm of Shadows,
card
Robomon
games.
was a big one.
Yeah. So
he did Robomon?
That's Gabe Barrett.
Really good.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
yeah, but he does a lot of
I didn't know he's
content.
been doing videos.
So he runs the Board Game Design Lab, I want to say. I always mix up which companies do which, but I think he does Board Game Design Lab, and he does some phenomenal stuff. He has a Facebook group in general, but he's recently started doing a lot of YouTube creation, and it's just very inspirational, very solid stuff. I think it's a great example of... I think he is more... He's coming at it from the sense of a designer and sharing things, but has become also more of a content creator, and has really done just phenomenal stuff, phenomenal videos. For me, I'm going to pick one that I think the chat has mentioned already, but we haven't talked about yet, which is ONEB, Orange Nebula. They do phenomenal stuff. If you want to learn how to play Unsettled, forget that. Whether or not you own Unsettled, you should watch the How to Play for Unsettled. Like, they put together their own How to Play that's immensely entertaining. They've put together community engagement, live streams, How to Plays, any number of different types of content that is just, it's fun, it's well presented, it's well filmed, it's just quality content from a lot of quality people. And again, they do all kinds. They do tutorials, they do engagement with the community, they have conversations behind the scenes, just really solid stuff that is a lot of fun and has a lot of personality of the creators behind it, and there's a lot of personality there.
Nice.
Anyone else we're gonna wrap
one person who I would be interested in watching more of, especially because I think he did one a day for like a long time, was Ignacy. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Trebisek?
Yeah, over at Portal Games.
Yeah.
Frixelius.
That's it. Yeah, you got it. But yeah, he. I remember seeing like a few of those sort of like daily vlogs that he picked something to talk about and just kind of like chatted to a camera. I think he was involved in talking about like negative titles in the YouTube space.
Yeah, he got in trouble for that, didn't he?
Oh, did he? I don't know. I think it was an experiment. I think it was like he was just going to be negative and see like the difference for a week, and was like, hey, why y'all clicking when I'm negative? And then like had a commentary on that. That's how I remember the story. I don't quite remember the story.
We should make this a topic of the week next week, clickbait and stuff. But no, he leaned, if I recall correctly, there's a lot of controversy. It caused a bit of a stir in the board game community, but he leaned into a clickbait title, specifically around, I believe, like Twitch live streams, something like that. But it's very aggressive and did invite the viewer to respond. He got a lot of flack for that.
Where I heard about it, honestly.
Yeah, he got a lot of flack for that, and started a conversation around the nature of negative content and what content pulls people in. And he called it an experiment, and I'm willing to give him that grace, because I mean the whole thing was an experiment. But it did seem it's a natural thing as a content creator to hit a point where you're like, hey, if I do this thing that's not great, it does actually, like, that's when you guys watch. Like, if you don't watch when I'm informative and you do watch when I'm controversial, why shouldn't I be controversial? Which is a fair question. Like, it's just to an extent, like, if you don't want me to do this, stop rewarding me for doing this. It's like people who buy Commands games and then complain about them. If you stop buying their games, stop rewarding the bad behavior if you view it as bad behavior. And I get that. And a lot of the response that I really did resonate with is the idea that you may well promote somebody. You may what you're doing with clickbait is you are effectively appealing to someone's baser instincts to serve yourself. And so you are going to get the result that you want, but at a certain point, you might tap out your audience as they realize that you thrive and exist by tapping into the parts of themselves that they don't like. It's like putting a cookie in front of someone who's on a diet. Sure, they might eat it, but they're kind of going to eventually start resenting you for giving them the cookies that they know they don't want. And I really like that general approach to it. It's one of those things, like, I think at the time I had done like maybe 1 or 2 clickbait titles over the course of like my YouTube, whatever, and like it kind of shifted me to the point that I didn't want to do any. Like, why should you ever want to tap into the more negative parts of somebody to pull in their views? Yeah. Also, fun fact, is always is worth distinguishing. There's a difference between clickbait where you deliver on the content and not. Engaging titles is a good thing. Pulling somebody in with controversy.
I think one of the best videos you can watch about it is Veritasium's video on how to create engaging titles that are still true to what you're saying, that aren't like hyperbolic in a sleazy way. I think Veritasium on YouTube does a fantastic job of kind of breaking down that process.
Yeah, I've watched that video and I completely agree with it. It's again, this you could be engaging and not clickbait. Both things are good at the same time. But anyways, yeah, I agree with you, and that is very solid. Excellent. I think that's it. The last one I kind of had briefly is Steamforge Games does amazing playthroughs of their content. If you watch they usually put together very solid playthroughs, but it's not less community engagement, more just general, just playthrough content. But I like their stuff in general when they have campaigns. But with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the weekly live. I appreciate all of you for being here. I appreciate all of you in the chat that recognize that chips are not Cheetos. And we will see all of you next week, except for maybe not Devin anymore, because Devin is so wrong. Thanks everyone so much, and we will be back. Actually, I don't know if we're back next week. I think that some of us are traveling, and I don't know next week. We'll see. There may or may not be a weekly live, and in fact the week after that is Gamma, so who knows. We will try to have live content, but it may show up in the form of random chaos streams as opposed to scheduled live content.
Chaos streams.
And with
Which is
that,
always
thank
great.
you so much, Chris, for joining us. Also, I did a horrible job. I'm sorry. I still this at the front of the stream. Hi, everyone. This is Chris from Room and Board. Please go see his channel called Room and Board and subscribe to the channel.
Is that we like Chris enough that he's just
We forgot.
Yeah.
I enjoyed hanging. But yeah, you can come check me out over at Room and Board.
Great.
And speaking of like actually publisher sort of like content, I've been really proud of doing like and really enjoying interviewing designers over on World Series of Board Gaming's channel as well. So I've gotten like a few of those up, which I don't know. I think that I've been really interested.
Interviews are my favorite thing to
in
do.
the
I know that
conversation,
I know that the industry doesn't, or like the viewers don't typically flock to those videos. They're like some of my favorite types of content.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll have to go check those out. I didn't know that you were doing that on WSBG.
I knew I had that question about the Martin Wallace and Brass, and I was like, he's interviewed Martin Wallace because of Brass. He's gonna get this one. Yeah. Anyways, with that, everyone, thanks so much, and we will see you all at a random chaos stream sometime next week.
See ya.
Have a good one.
See you guys.